is that when one channel opens up, everybody rushes there. But it's not sustainable for the industry. But before I, finish everything that I have to say, I think I'd let Ella say something.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, just before you go into IT countries, maybe they don't struggle with funding that much, but like she said, we still have a ways to go. Deliberate on that a little, because I hear that even recently, most of our movie makers or filmmakers go home with numbers that would shock you. So even when they get the funding, they make the movies. By the time the cinemas have taken their own percentages, everybody else has taken the making of film subsidized, so that the numbers that we have can now come into play. Movies that have been made already. How do you think that we can really tackle funding as an issue, over price nature of films, distribution issues, sharing formulas, all of that? Do you see anything there?
For me, I would say like a way to tackle the challenge of funding distribution out as well is looking for sustainable, because when you pull your strengths, and I bring my strengths into it, if my strength is getting investors and yours is like bringing the crew members together, and you probably have a team of people you are working with. I probably have access to finance or distributors. So I feel like, yes, with collaboration, we can, find a more sustainable, this is what is happening in the industry. If you must get into the industry, you must be aware of X, Y, Z. And so that kind of gave me an edge, right? But I think that there's a trend, opportunities, and then we don't see these mentors actually following through. So there's a problem with follow through. So I think that with mentorship, right, instead of looking for, people it's good to look up to people who are up there and all of that. But I feel like those people are so, sit together. I might know something, about the film industry, and I'm able to pass on that knowledge. So again, it's starting from the grassroots. It's starting from the bottom, literally. So they say networking is from the ground up. So me, I think it's side by side. So, like, I'm a very community person. So I would say, like Chisom, like, me and her, we still get on the phone. We talk about the issues in the industry. Oh, how can we do it better? What ideas, can we work? So I would say for mentorship, sometimes those people you look up to might not, give you they might not give you that attention or follow through. But again, if you learn to also look within, your space, who are other filmmakers as hungry as you, and then you can begin to learn from each other and build and grow together. So I feel like there's also a shift in that, because these days we see a lot of young filmmakers. People do not wait, like Mr. Felix Duka, Mr. Duka was saying earlier, like, people, you can literally take your phone and make a film. So I feel like, yes, mentorship is good, but again, it starts with actually doing something and working with what is available to you. So that's my take on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So you spoke about you really reframing our expectations in the essence of truly who a mentor is. So it's not just all the big high-sounding names within your community, side by side. There are people who have more time, and just because they are still not too far off from their learning, stages, they are more willing to take you on as opposed to people who passed their learning stages decades ago and are operating in different realms. So it's important that throughout the course of this film festival, that's why this film festival was birthed, that you take advantage of all the resources. And people are resources. So everyone you meet here is going to come in handy at some point in your filmmaking journey, best believe. So it's important that you keep, preserve, and nurture these relationships. Are there some other thoughts you wanted to share as well in terms of mentoring?
Okay, so in terms of mentorship, right, I know that we would also want to say these people that we're reaching out to are not as accessible. I would also like to speak on the character of the mentee. A lot of times, people also reach out to me to ask questions, and I'm always open, like, as much as possible. Like, I also have, like, a platform where it's sort of ask me questions and I guide them. But the truth is that there are some people that are looking to you for access, right? It's more, they're trying to get to know you so that they could use you as a stepping board to get into somewhere. But the truth is, if you do wuru to the answer to enter a room, very, very quickly, you're going to be out, right? So you need to be out, right? So you need to work on your character. You need to work on your character. You need to, put your head down and understand that filmmaking is hard. Leave the whole glamour and, if you go on an actual film being on set.
Please have that question. We'll come back to it. But thank you so much. You shared such a great thing, a great point when it comes to character of the mentees. And there's something I learned from mentors. As a mentee, if you're coming into a place of, okay, I want to be mentored, you have to come from a place of value. So it cannot just be all about what you want. What are you giving? At every stage in time, there's something that you can offer. All right? So if you're coming to the office of a mentor for a meeting, did you come empty-handed? Did you watch your mentor enough to know that, oh, my mentor actually likes flowers, and then you bring a bouquet of flowers? You say, these little things matter. Or maybe it's their anniversary, and then you send a very thoughtful, heartfelt message. Or you say, oh, how about I intend, with your company, give something of service. And that way, it doesn't come off as you trying to take. You're also giving what you have. So that's very important as well. Before we go on, I almost forgot. When they say out of sight is out of mind, it's so true. I almost forgot that we had our very esteemed guest on the virtual space, Mr. Sharp Sesewale. Good afternoon. Thank you for being patient with me, and apologies that I kind of, for a minute, forgot that you were in the building. So I'd like to take a question to him as well, talking about globalization and authentic storytelling. I hope that he can hear me. Can you hear me, sir? Fantastic. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. You're the only man in the room, so you must feel on the panel. So you must feel absolutely special. All right, so I wanted to ask this question. We now live in a world, thank you for saying a quick hi. In a world of global streaming and international festivals, how can young African filmmakers maintain cultural authenticity? And I think that this question is very valid because at certain points in time, we have been made to feel consciously or subconsciously that telling our own genuine, authentic stories with our own local flavor is a bit, down there. It's not up to par, with a condescending nuance to it. But even while we're trying to reach global stages, how do you think we can impress upon the minds of young filmmakers that it's important to maintain, oh, he's gone off the screen, that it's important to maintain cultural authenticity? So could you share your thoughts with us, Mr. Sharp? He's mute? I need to turn it off? Oh, you're muted, sir. Can you turn on your audio? I think. We can't hear you. These are the issues sometimes with digital mediums. Is your audio back now, sir? Oh, okay. It's not back. While we resolve that, what do we do? Should we give a few minutes for that to be resolved, and then we carry on with our people here? So we'll come back to Mr. Sharp and take his thoughts, but let's start with the people in the house, talking about how we can impress upon young people the need to retain cultural authenticities in how we tell our stories. How do you think that we can do that most effectively?
Okay, I had a conversation with a man. He's called Keith Shiri, and he was telling me about storytelling and how Africans approach our stories. And he was like, you can cut my hand, right? But don't tell the world that I was born without a hand, right? So it's more or less like we Nigerians or we Africans, we're not, I don't know if we're confident enough in our stories, right? Because the truth is, I think maybe recently, yes, there's been an interest in, in African storytelling or telling the stories of, our African context. But what I realized is it took the international film.
Appreciating it first.
Yes, appreciating it first. And if our stories are not as palatable, the Woman King will not exist because that's a Nigerian story. It is a Nigerian story. And I also think that filmmakers need to understand that storytelling is a gift, one, and it is the core of making films, right? So long as your film, if your film is relatable, right? Or more like, let me just rephrase. Relatability is the core of storytelling, and storytelling is the core of films. And if you're able to make a film here in, say, this university in Unilag, and you uplift the story that you made here and take it to, say, University of Johannesburg, or you take it to University of, I don't know, maybe UCLA, and they're still able to relate to your story, I think that you've done a good job, because film is a universal language, and we need to look beyond making blockbusters and understand that at the end of the day, it's the story. And there are very few filmmakers that do it for me. Younger filmmakers also need to understand that you don't have to practice in Nollywood to be a filmmaker. You don't have to practice in Nollywood, because right now, Nollywood as we know it is more about the glitz and the glam, the blockbusters, the spectacle, but you realize that some of these films don't really travel. We have our Nigerian Tell Your Own Story, and it's, now I need us to even look beyond the world of filmmaking, to look around, like see Traore, the general, right? To see the spark, but he did that because, like,
the story is a universal language. If I watch a film, in fact, why do we make films? Why do we tell stories? To make the audience feel something. So if your film is able to make someone feel something, and when you say feel, if I'm able to relate to that story, I'll be able to feel. And as a filmmaker, if I can make you feel something in my film, I've done a fantastic job. It doesn't need to win awards or whatever. So that's my take on it. So yes, absolutely, I agree with her. And we need to also look beyond, the common stereotypes out there. Hollywood, they do their own shit. They have all the CGIs in the head that are still on tap. So we need to learn to look inward. Sorry.